I began an activism advocating for them not to be put in prison. 7 years on, the one that actually bashed me came looking for me for reconciliation. There is a video on YouTube. The moment he came to look for me in Victoria, to ask for forgiveness. You know, forgiveness is not for the person that hurts you, it's for you. When you don't forgive people, whenever you see them, there's anger boiling in you. Something will be missing. So whenever you are hurt, don't keep it in you. Forgive and move on. Because our mouth is built for two things. Your mouth speaks positive things, your mouth speaks negative things. So you have to accept whatever comes your way in life. The only thing you should not let go is believing in who you are. March on. The future is bright. Right. Now, I want to go through a brief of my story as a former refugee. As you watched in the video, I'm from West Africa. How many people know where West Africa is? Is that in United States or South America or someone told me the last time it's in Papua New Guinea, right? You know what? There were a time when I was driving taxi, someone told me, "Is Africa a big city? Are there cars? Or do they have good people in Africa?" And you know, I smiled because people don't know. And when people ask you this type of questions, you cannot be angry because they want to know. And so, Africa is a continent with 54 countries with 1.1 billion people. Sierra Leone is a tiny country on the west coast of Africa. This is Sierra Leone, very small, with 7 million people. Very rich. We have diamonds, we have oil, everything you think of in natural resources. We have them, but we are poor due to corruption and lack of proper management. Now, in Sierra Leone, I am coming from here. This is my place. Civil war started in Liberia. This is Liberia in 1990. And then in 1991, the Civil War entered into Sierra Leone through where I am. And then we have to flee into Guinea. This is Guinea here. It took us 3 days walking. On the 23rd of March, 1991, on that unfaithful Friday afternoon, 2:30 p.m., I was roaming around the neighborhood like any youth or teenager would do. By the time I got back home, mom, dad, siblings, everyone is gone. All the doors were locked. I was left as a 14-year-old to make a decision of myself. Am I going to stay and be killed, or am I going to start looking for my parents? As young people, at times, you have to be reasonable to make the right choices, because if you don't make them, they will come back haunting you. I had to make a decision that I never wanted to make, but I had to make a decision that I have to run away. I ran for a day. I was running to chase after my parents. I could not see them until the second day before I could locate them in Guinea. Now, spending 14 years as a refugee was not fun. It wasn't like going on holiday, which often people think refugees, asylum seekers are compared to migrants. They have a prepared moment. They want to go to Australia because they need a better life, or they want to seek a better fortune. No, they don't. They never plan to live. And this is how refugees move when they move. Here we go. Anything you touch, you just go with it. If there is war fighting out there, if my memory tells me, Isaiah, grab this table and run away, that is what I'm going to take. So that is how it is when you are a refugee or asylum seeker. You have no plan. And these are the agonies of what happened in my country. War. When they say war, there is no mercy. They chop off little kids, their arms. They open the wombs of pregnant women just to know the type of child that is in the womb. They amputate people because they don't want them to exercise their democratic rights as human beings. This is what brought people like me this far. I never knew there was a continent or a country called Australia until on that fateful day when I left. I was living in this condition for 14 years. This is me here, and this was my house. This was when I was doing the traditional wedding of my wife. The only thing that kept refugees together is collectivism. We live on each other's hope, believing that we will survive to see the next day. That's the only thing that kept us going. Now, when we have this connection, we are assured that your problem is my problem is yours. We don't have famine, we don't have banks, we don't have revenues. All we live for is the United Nations. If they don't give us, we don't survive. No education. Now, see what happened being a refugee. According to the United Nations, they said a refugee is a person. A refugee is a person that ran away from their home country for fear of persecution, for things beyond their control, for religious reasons. On the other hand, migrants, people who have got a thought out plan, they know where they are going, they know when they will go, they know how long they will take, they know why they are going for. Refugees don't have that plan. Asylum seekers doesn't. In Australia today, the political narrative of asylum seekers and refugees is at the top of our politics. And I have strong hope in us, the new generation of Australia, the young generation of Australia, to make a shift of the dialogue